Welcome to the DooDoo Diva Smells Like Money podcast. I'm your host, Suzan Chin-Taylor, CEO and founder of Creative Raven, the firm that helps wastewater industry contractors and manufacturers unlock the power of digital marketing, AI, and PR to boost sales and opportunities. Whether it's through our online marketing and lead generation programs or providing a fully outsourced marketing department, we are passionate about helping businesses in the wastewater and civil infrastructure sectors not just survive, but thrive in today's digital world. Each episode, I'll be bringing you expert tips and strategies to help you grow and succeed. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DooDoo Diva Smells Like Money podcast. Today, we're continuing our visit with Jeff Jones from Violand, and we had a delightful conversation on our last episode about marketing budgeting. And so the next piece in the puzzle, of course, is you've got marketing and it's generating leads, but now the website may do a pretty good job of getting those inquiries and getting the phone to ring, which means now somebody's going to have to put a human touch to it and take that lead, which is not a sale, it's just an inquiry, and convert it into a sale and hopefully a locked-in loyal customer. And so welcome back, Jeff.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for having me back.
So for those who were not able to tune in last time, just give us a brief rundown on what Violand's role is in our industry and the types of things that they bring to the table to help specialty skilled trade businesses in our industry to grow and thrive.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We are in the trades and we are in with small businesses. That's our world that we love, and that's where we are going to stay. So we do coaching, business coaching. We do professional training for people in various different trades that are out there, helping you be able to grow the business, whether that's leadership or management training, strategic planning, sales training, working with technicians, supervisors. There's a whole host of different options that we have. But at the end of the day, your business is at point A, you want to get to point B, let's figure out how to do that, work together, and coach through that process.
All right. And so since we talked about marketing, let's get into the sales part, because sales is not marketing. Marketing is not sales.
Oftentimes they're like this.
Oh, yeah. And especially, because the sales team thinks that marketing should be doing their job for them and closing. No. Nothing could be further from the truth. My job is to get somebody to raise their hand and say, I want to know more. And it's your job as the salesperson to say, great, how can I help you? And turn that lead into a sale. So if you are an organization, you've decided to make a commitment to growth. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. Maybe it's you, your partner, maybe son or daughter. You got a couple, guys that are out on some trucks, and you're realizing, I can't do all this myself. I need to get some salespeople to handle and field all these inquiries that I'm getting so I can grow my business by the X amount that I decided that was my goal for this year. How do I find a good salesperson? Because a bad hire can cost me a lot of money.
Very expensive.
It can cost me a lot of money in a technician, but it also can for a salesperson too. So you being in this space, I would really love for you to impart some wisdom and maybe like your top 5 tips, if you can come up with those, of how to look for and hire a good salesperson. And then we're going to go into the other part of it, which is the hidden thing. You can hire that gem, but then you can't leave it there. And I don't want to give a spoiler alert. And I think you know where I'm alluding to.
I know exactly.
The T word.
Even more important.
The T word. And we're going to go there. So go ahead. Let me hear your pearls of wisdom on this one.
If you're at the place in your business where you can afford to do this, go into it with the mindset of this is going to be one of the most aggravating experiences you're ever going to have in your business. Most people who own businesses in the trades come from the operations side. They love helping people. Yes. They love getting their hands dirty, and sales is icky, and they don't like salespeople, and they don't want to be around salespeople because they never shut up. And so their job, when you hire the salesperson that comes on, typically what you're going to look for because it's going to be more likely what you're going to consider an entry level sales position. You're going to have somebody who's got limited years of experience, or you're going to hire somebody who's on the tail end of their career, one or the other. You're going to have a base salary. You're going to have a commission structure that goes with it. You're going to have a couple perks that come there. And what you're going to typically hire when you hire somebody who is younger is going to be somebody who's more often than not, let's be face it, they're going to have a certain level of attractiveness, whether it's male or female, but you're going to hire somebody that represents the brand. They're going to be clean cut. They're going to be well spoken. They're going to be articulate. They're going to smile. They're going to be outgoing. They're going to be friendly. They're going to be bubbly. They're going to be somebody who does really well when they go to a party. And that may work. It may not. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has absolutely none of that has any influence on whether or not this person's going to. So when you hire, what you typically are hiring is you're trying to find somebody that you like. Because if I like this person, somebody else is going to like this person, and that's who I'm going to hire, and they're going to do well. And that actually comes from a Harvard Business Review study back in 1995 that said people who score high on a likability scale will outsell those that don't by 80%. So that became the thing. Hire somebody who's likable. And that was really, really great for a short period of time. And you know what changed? This thing showed up.
Yep.
And now I have access to 98% of all recorded history in my pocket, which means likability isn't all that important because now I have the option of trust. And I'm going to buy from somebody I trust before I buy from somebody that I like. And that's human nature, and we all do it. So when you're hiring this person, likability is important. Don't get me wrong. It's nice if you can have it, but it's not number one. Trust. Can this person build trust? Do they understand what that is? And are they proactive in trying to build with trust, or are they just trying to get you to like them? Very, very different. Another one that I will throw out to you that I feel is most important. I get asked all the time. I do a lot of hiring. I do a lot of coaching on hiring. Do you like to hire former athletes or people that maybe became an Eagle Scout or became very accomplished with a musical instrument? They had a passion in their life and did really well at the highest levels. Well, just because somebody could hit a fastball in college doesn't tell me they can sell. What that tells me is that they have a passion for a certain thing. They could work hard and they have some natural talent and they can get there. And I think that's great. That's a check in the positive piece. Doesn't tell me they can sell. There's only one true personality characteristic that I'm convinced will automatically translate into being able to sell. Curiosity. I look for people who have the curiosity of a 4-year-old. Why? Now, I don't ever ask them when I'm asking why in a sales call. It's a terrible question to ask, but I want them to be curious because I don't like salespeople. I've been in this profession for 25 years. I am a salesperson. I've hired, I've trained, I've done all of it. I don't like salespeople. I don't like being sold to, but I like when I have
Nobody
a
does.
problem. Yeah, when I have a problem, I want somebody to solve it. And so what I try to teach and what I look for isn't a salesperson. I look for a problem. So somebody who's going to go in and ask questions, oftentimes the same question, thinking they already know the answer because they probably don't. Ask it again, and ask it in a different way, and ask a follow-up question until we get to the point where you resonate with the person that they can say, this person truly cares about my need and not just trying to get me to sign a piece of paper. And then when they trust you, the whole process goes so much sooner. So I would look for that as well as another key piece. The last one that I would throw out there is the difference between a hunter and a farmer. And this is important. They're both very, very good. So there's two types of salespeople, and a lot of it's based on personality. There's hunter and farmer. If you have a set group of business that you already have, and you want somebody to come in and manage that group of business and try and grow those accounts, what you're looking for is a farmer. You're looking for somebody who comes in who is really motivated on customer service. And you're doing business with us, so I'm going to give you 110% of what I have, and I'm going to make your life better. And this is my group of accounts, and they're my rock stars, and I'm going to give them all the love. You have a second personality that's a hunter. So if you're moving into a new area or a new service, this is somebody who's not doing business. They're going out and calling on people who've not done business with you before, and they're hunting. They're going to find the kill. They're going to go find somebody to sign that paper for the first time with you. And both of them get the endorphin rush off of the close. One of them gets it from servicing the customer. The other one gets it from closing that one, but doesn't have the passion on the back end for that piece. They want to go find the next kill. And so when you're hiring, they're both very, very important. So what are you looking for? Do you have a set group that you are trying to nurture? make certain you hire a hunter or you hire a farmer. If you're going out into a new market, a new service offering, you need a hunter. You got somebody who's not afraid to cold call. You got somebody who's not afraid to knock on doors and do all of that to go find that business because that's what they crave. That's what they need. So during the interview process, there's a couple tips that I can give you. I don't know if they're all 100% legal, but you could try to get away with them. The best way to know if you already have a salesperson and you're wondering if they're a hunter or a farmer, walk in their office and take a look at their desk. If their desk is neat and clean, like this desk is, which is not actually my desk, and if they have papers, they're in neat stacks, that person is a farmer. If you walk in and you can't see the desk because there's papers everywhere and there's chaos in that place, that's a hunter. That person doesn't have time to talk to you because they want to go kill something. If they're not working for you, or the other way to do it is look at the notes that they take after a sales call. If it's detailed and there's paragraphs written after each sales call, farmer. If it says, called on John down the street, that guy's a jerk, I'm going to try him again next week, that's a hunter. They're both important. Know which one that you want. In the interview process, this is one where you got to be a little sneaky. Go out to their car. Send somebody from your business. Go out to the car that they drove in on. If the inside of that car is clean, farmer. If there are 12 empty Burger King wrappers in the background and a pile of empty Red Bulls, there's your farmer. They're both good. They're both important. Very few people are really good at both of them. If they are, they'll start their own business. Figure out what you need and hire accordingly. Ask the questions in the interview process of what's important to them. They'll be honest with you. They'll tell you. I mean, they'll give you the roundabout, I'm good at everything. No, you're not. What do you really care about? And go that direction.
I've also heard from a colleague of mine that when you come in, he's very, very successful in the trades. He said he tells all his techs, before you start anything, he said, when you arrive at the customer's home, fix the customer first.
Yes.
Before you begin to work on the problem you believe that you were called out to solve.
People need experience. It's the experience that you're selling. There's 110 other people within so many square mile radius that can unclog that drain, or they can make that pipe flow again, or whatever it is that you're called out there to do. But if you can create an experience that makes the homeowner feel comfortable and relate to you and be glad they called you and not the other person, that's your win. That solves both of them. So now you're a farmer that took care of a customer, but that's a hunter because you got that kill and you got a customer for life.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes a lot of people don't realize that their technicians are their best salespeople if they enter the situation the right way. Because as a homeowner, having and also some rental properties, is that if I come across a really good tradesperson that's, what's that expression, done me a solid, oh, I'm going to tell all my friends about it. Or if they'll say, hey, I remember you said you had a great experience. Who was that? Because I've got a problem at my house right now. That's gold. Referrals are gold. Referrals are gold. So now that moves us into that second half.
Curiosity goes into that. That's that curiosity piece.
Yeah, there you go.
Ask those questions when they first come in. And you'll be amazed where those conversations go, but it makes that homeowner feel important, needed, wanted. And those are the conversations you have to start with.
Yeah, because a lot of us, I think, feel like people buy purely on logic, and nothing could be further from the truth. They buy on emotion. How do we make them feel?
Yep. They buy on the why, not on the what.
Exactly. So now we're getting into the second half of this. So you found that salesperson, whether it be that farmer or that hunter, or maybe you hired two guys and you got one of each. Wow, wouldn't that be cool? Great little bookends. Okay, so now you've hired them and you're going to let them loose. But what do you need to do first?
Yeah, don't let them loose. Because here's what's going to happen. When you hire a salesperson, most salespeople have a decent ego and are aggressive. And that's why they got into this position, and they want to go out and they want to be liked and they want to earn some money, and they're going to scorch the earth to show you. And they're going to ask you how well this person did previous to them because they want to beat that, which is even worse because now they're going to make more dumb mistakes. And so the worst possible thing you can do is give them this much information and then shoot them out into the world, because they're going to throw up all over every single customer they call in. And they're going to walk in, they're going to tell you about how great this company is that they now work for and how you can solve every problem. And they're going to talk for the next 45 minutes unless the person just gets up and punches them in the head. that's why this happens. And so I'm a big proponent of on day one, we're not talking anything about plumbing. They don't need to know anything about it. This person is going to hear no 9 out of every 10 times they try and have a conversation to sell your. That means they really got to believe in you and what. And if we don't impart that first, that's why they get burned out in 4 months. Wait a second, you told me everybody was going to buy from us because our customer service was really good. Nobody wants to buy from us. Well, how did this happen? So let's talk through what is our mission statement? What is our vision statement? What is our core values? What is the future of this company? Here are some success stories. Here's some great experiences. Here's the time we saved Christmas for little Susie, so she got her stuffy when she was 3 years old. Those are the stories that they need to hear. They got to buy into you before they can sell anything that you offer. I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to move into the industry. And then I'm going to move into specifically what we do and what we don't do and why we do and why we don't do, so that they have answers to all of that, because there's such a thing as defensive selling. If I'm new to a role or position, I'm not going to ask questions because you're going to give me answers and I don't know what to do with that. And I don't want you to ask me questions because I don't know the answer and I'm just going to make stuff up as I go there. So my only defense mechanism is to throw up on you for 30 minutes. And so all of that training has to get into play before we go anywhere. And then I want to work on very specific soft skills that are out there. I want to work on communication. I want to work on effective writing. I want to work on a big one that I make certain all of my sales reps go through is body language. Take a body language course, because was it 93% of all communication that takes place between two people has absolutely nothing to do with the word. It's all in the way your body presents and then your tone of voice. So if I'm having a sales call and I'm sitting with you and I see that you lean back and you cross your arms and you look down at your watch, that means I'm boring you to death. And all I'm doing is making you angry. And I've got to have the confidence to say, hey, wait a second. It feels to me like something's off right now. I'm not giving you value for your time. I apologize for that if that's the case. Can you let me know where you want to go with this conversation, or is something bothering you that I need to change? And more often than not, they're not mad at you or anything you did. Their kid got in trouble at school and they're thinking about that. And you're snapping them back into reality and they'll say, oh, thank you. My fault. I drifted off. Please continue. But if I don't read those cues, all I'm going to do is make more people mad. The more sales calls I go on, because as an owner, you're going to tell your person, we'll go make more calls because you're not hitting your numbers. Don't. All they're doing is pissing off more people. Improve the quality of the call first. Then we're going to work on the numbers. And then the last one I'm going to focus on, and owners are going to hate this, you have to do ride-alongs. You have to ride along with your sales rep. You have to go into the home with your people when they're selling it, and you are not allowed to. So if I'm a sales rep and you're my manager and we walk in to go meet with a commercial prospect, they don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to you, which takes me out of the loop, and you're not learning anything on my ability or my performance. The very first thing you do as the owner or the manager is you set the expectation when you walk into that customer's room. I'm here solely to observe so that I can learn. I'm going to stand back here if that's okay with you. I appreciate your time in talking to my rep. And then you never say another word. And if they ask you a question, you point straight back to them. And that allows us to be able to see, how is the rep doing? How many questions are they asking? Are they asking the right types of questions? Are they being able to take pain points and align them with your services to create solutions? Are they asking for business? Whatever it is. And then when we get back to the car, that's when we can coach. Or better yet, you don't say a word and you see how many questions they continue to ask you in a learning process. Because if they're not asking you those questions at that point and they want to talk about last night's ball game, we got a problem. Step back and we got to get some more training. And so that's a big piece of how we continue to develop these individuals, to give them the strengths that might be against their nature. But think about every time a salesperson's walked into your office and upset you, now coach the opposite.
Love it. Well, Jeff, I want to thank you. That great wisdom. And even, sometimes what I love to bring onto this show is information and statements like you just made for the owners that they're not going to like it. Things that maybe they don't want to hear, but they absolutely need to hear. If
I don't
they
want to spend all day in a car.
Yeah, if they want to grow in, if they want to grow into that successful person that they aspire to be, is that they have to be willing to hear the difficult things that are just going to be helpful. And so thank you for being so, I would have to say, brutally honest about that. That was, I kind of anticipated it coming, but it was just so good to have you say it so fearlessly to the audience. So thank you for that.
The only way we learn.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's going to give us a great segue into the next piece of our series with Jeff here from Violand is branding and differentiation. Because branding, just like sales and training and everything that we've been talking about in these last two episodes, everybody has different connotations, or I would say different interpretations about what these two terms mean. So we're going to do a dive into that on how it relates to the trades business, what is going to be coming down the pike for marketing that we need to be prepared for. And so with that, I want to thank you again, Jeff, for being here with me. And for those of you who tuned in and spent your time, keep it flowing. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you're ready to take your marketing to the next level and start increasing sales and opportunities for your business, reach out to us at Creative Raven. We're here to help you thrive in the digital landscape. Visit creativeraven.com or click the link in the show notes below to schedule a call and learn how we can support your growth. If you enjoyed the insights on today's episode, be sure to hit subscribe so you'll never miss an update. Until next time, keep growing and keep it flowing.